Hello, sisters and brothers near and far. Got a few things I want to cover real quickly, just put out there. If you haven't seen Electric Buddha and other videos talking about the increased utilization of XRP as pertaining to stablecoin and other things, and tying into Ethereum and I believe Bitcoin as well, pretty exciting stuff. That's not me telling you to buy XRP. You'd have to do your own due diligence there. But I certainly did make a purchase, and I think it's really worth looking at, or at least considering. Pretty exciting stuff. And, continued thanks to Electric Buddha, GY, FM, Finance, and others who are kind of stepping in where Lou previously was to continue to keep kind of energy and information flowing. Which ties into what I'd like to talk about. Electric Buddha covered it a little bit. We'll put it under the umbrella of what's commonly known as law of attraction, which is to say that human beings have the ability to impact matter and circumstance and even time and certainly finance through the focused power of their intent. That may sound all airy-fairy to some of you, and that's fine. You don't have to subscribe. Your life will continue to operate based on that, or some version of that. Whether you believe it or not doesn't really matter, and it's purely up to you. There are various points of entry to the study of that, be it quantum physics, religion to a certain degree. Obviously, there are various kinds of religion. Ancient Vedic texts. There are all kinds of points of entry to the power of intent impacting matter and circumstance and time and space. For my part, I actually grew up in a literal doomsday cult. I'll go into that some other time. But I grew up in a very religious environment, and I ended up with a degree in theology. After pursuing that and pursuing my own life's path, I ended up not being a very religious man, but a pretty spiritual man. And then I have family members who are extremely educated scientifically, worked in the space program in the 60s. So I began to find my point of entry to what we would call law of attraction through a rudimentary understanding of quantum mechanics and spirituality. And you can find points of entry through quantum mechanics, or say Dr. Emoto's studies of focused intent on water crystals and how that can impact the structure of water crystals. There are multiple points of entry. The ancient Vedic texts, which talk about vibration being the source of all existence. So there's not just one way to view these things, but it is worth considering that your intent, your level of gratitude versus your level of depression, or maybe lower vibrations, for lack of a better term, impact how your life unfolds in a physical sense. It is the real deal. And some people are more practiced at it than others, which is why I believe that certain gurus or messiahs have appeared over time to help us understand that, and it comes into conflict with organized religion and other forms of government. But you do have access to it, maybe more than ever. So it's worth considering, as is XRP and other areas of study. I would encourage people to, if you haven't already, to at least consider that you have the ability to, through your focused intent and through various levels of gratitude or appreciation, change how your life occurs and how your finances occur. So I'm going to leave it at that. You could spend the rest of your life even looking through things on YouTube to find various points of entry, which can be a fun study. So that's it for me. I hope your lives are unfolding the way you want them to. Certainly exciting times for For those of us who are in AMC, it's not the most exciting time. I still have it, but I don't really focus on it that much. But I have other investments going, and there are exciting things afoot. And the more I focus on the excitement of those things, the better things show up for me personally. So, yeah, as I said, I grew up in a doomsday cult. I was supposed to die in one of 9 different ways at the age of 4 from a nasty bout of bacterial meningitis. Despite the fact that I was in a cult that wasn't really aligned with what I would call a positive message religiously, the focused intent of people's prayers literally saved me. The doctors had no explanation for why I did not die within 24 hours, and then over a period of 3 weeks in ICU was not left in a vegetative state, confined to a wheelchair. They said, this is miraculous. There is no other explanation for this. I had a sustained fever of over 104 degrees for 3 weeks. I should have had significant brain damage. There is some speculation about that. And I went from being a religious person to more of a spiritual person who found his point of entry in quantum mechanics and ancient Indian explanations for these kinds of events. And that was my point of entry. But there are multiple points of entry, from mathematics to meditation, you name it. So, I keep saying I'm going to leave it at that, but I really am going to leave it at that. I hope you and yours are well. I do encourage you to consider what's beyond your physical domain, and really explore the idea that you can impact your life in ways beyond what maybe you were taught growing up. So, all the best to you and yours. We'll talk to you again soon.